Isaiah chapter 19 and verse 4. And the Egyptians will I give over into the hand of a cruel Lord, and a fierce king shall rule over them, said the Lord Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai of hosts. I want to start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory unto the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son, Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Rakah Kwadash, and double honor to my teachers, the head apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who rule and teach well, who I learned this truth from. And peace and salutations to the elect that scattered across the four corners of the planet Earth, pushing this truth in sincerity and meekness without wavering, as well as risking their life for freedom to do so. This is your brother ICR from the GMS Cleveland Church, and I'm back with another lesson. And Lord willing, it is edifying to one of the Lord's elect, which the elect today, for the Israelites today, which consists of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Seminole Native American Indians of Negroid and Indian descent by the seed of the Father. Okay, you are the Israelites. Okay, the Heavenly Father is sending His only begotten Son back to redeem the Israelites, and that's starting with the elect out of the United States of America. Or two-thirds of our people will be destroyed in the upcoming nuclear missile fire that's destined to hit Babylon the Great, right? And you know, I got the inspiration to do this lesson from an article I had seen earlier today. This is from Newsweek. It says Donald Trump, I don't want to hear about the affordability of what society, the economic finances, the economic trouble that's happening to the citizens here, man. Okay, and if you know about what's been happening here in the United States of America, which is Babylon the Great, you will know that everybody here is struggling real bad. Okay, everybody's struggling real bad to the point where people are getting um, evicted. Their homes are being foreclosed. You know, people are filing bankruptcy. People are losing jobs. Okay, you know, people are not able to pay their bills. They're not able to eat. And this is what Donald Trump has to say. I don't want to hear about the affordability. Okay, because this is the cruel Lord that's mentioned in Isaiah the 19th chapter. Isaiah 19 is talking about future Babylon. Well, not future Babylon, but Egypt. And that Egypt that's being spoken about is talking about modern day America. Okay, America, which is modern day Egypt, man. Okay, and this is the Lord, this is the man that the Lord set up. Okay, so we're gonna read some of this article. We're gonna close out. Okay, because a lot of you Negroes, Latinos, and Seminole Native American Indians, you're the ones that's really being affected by this, man. These other nations, even Edomites, okay, so-called white people, are just they're just casualties of war, man. The real target is you Israelites, man. Okay. He wants to see you in a destitute state, okay? Because you're gonna have to go to him for the want of all things, okay, according to the curses in Deuteronomy 28 chapter. Okay. So it says President Donald cost of living. Hold on. Hold on 1 second. Okay, I should be good. It says President Donald Trump appeared to dismiss concerns about the cost of living for Americans, calling such criticism a con by Democrats and touting his record on inflation. Right? So he dismissed the concerns, meaning what? He don't give a damn about how none of you people feel, man. All right, he does not give a damn about how any of you people feel about what he's doing to this economy, man. All right, and rightfully so, because this is that cruel Lord. He's supposed to make things worse. He's not the great white hope that you Edomites, you so-called white people, perceive him to be, or you deem him to be. He's actually the harbinger of death, like they said in the book, not in the book, but the Planet of the Apes movie, man. When he found out, at the end of the movie, he seen, it was like a desert, and he seen the Statue of America. You had the apes, which represented Israelites, okay, the so-called Black, Hispanic, Seminole, Native American Indian. He told him to read the scroll. The scroll is what? The Bible. And what he opened to a certain point in the scriptures, and he said the harbinger of death, the so-called white man, pretty much. He didn't say the so-called white man, but he said, he's the harbinger of death. He's a parasite. He's going to suck you dry, and he's not going to feel bad about it, man. All right. That's the so-called white man. All right. Let's keep reading. It says Trump specifically cited what he said was the lower overall cost of Thanksgiving when compared with the tenure of his White House predecessor, Joe Biden. So read again. It says Trump specifically cited what he said was the lower overall cost of Thanksgiving when compared with the tenure of the White House predecessor, Joe Biden. He said, so I don't want to hear about the affordability because right now we're much less, Trump told reporters on Thursday in the White House East Room. It says why it matters. Voter concern about inflation and the cost of living helped deliver Trump the presidency for a second time. And with it, Republican majorities in the US House and Senate, right? Because they believed that he was going to be the great white hope. Okay, but he wasn't. Okay, people voted for him thinking he was going to bring inflation down, and he was going to bring, balance back to the United States of America, a sense of hope, and he's completely doing the opposite, man. He's doing the opposite, right? This is that cruel Lord. All right. Now, when you jump down to the 14th verse, it says, the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, hath mingled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof. Talking about what? In the midst of the counselors of Egypt. Okay. That's why it says in the 13th verse, the princes of Zoan are become fools, the princes of Noph are deceived. They have also seduced Egypt, even they that are the state of the tribes thereof. Right. You have been deceived. The Lord has put a spirit out here to distort, right? Because that's what it means when you read the word perverse. It means to distort. The Lord has distorted the mindset of the leaders of this nation. Okay, and it's starting with the wicked elites, man. Okay, because they control these government officials, man. All right, and the Lord has distorted the mindset of these Edomite leaders, man. Okay, it says, verse 14, the Lord have mingled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof, and they have caused Egypt to err in every work thereof, as a drunken man staggereth in his vomit. Right. A drunken man has no sense of what's taking place. His sense of his judgment and discernment is completely off. Okay, and that's the state of the United States of America. All right. It says back in the article, it says, but lingering cost of living worries threaten to cause Trump problems in the 2026 midterms, an election that will shape the final 2 years of his presidency. Tuesday's elections, which saw broad Democratic wins amid the federal government shutdown, were an early warning sign to Trump and the Republicans. Now, there's two sides of the same coin, two wings of the same eagle, right? They might seem like they're for the people, but really, and they're for the people and against the other party, but really they're both on one accord, and that's to deceive you people and bring in a beast system, okay? That's going to be all digital, okay? All digital. Everything's going to be track control. In order to buy or sell, you will have to have a mark in your right hand, left hand, or in your forehead. Okay, and that mark is talking about an implantable subdermal device, an actual physical physical mark. Okay, because you got a lot of camps out here that say the IUI, not the IUIC, but a lot of camps out here say that the mark is sin, okay, or is sleeping with white women, or false philosophies and ideologies. You know, plenty of things, man, which is not true. The mark is talking about an actual physical device, okay, an actual physical device. And what Trump doing, okay, is he's bringing people to their knees so they can bow the knee to the image of Baal, which Baal is what the MOTB today, which is the so-called white man's God. Okay, technology. That's who Esau really worships. Is his technology, man. Okay, and he's doing anything he has to do to bring you people, to strip you dry. Okay, so it says Trump has been emphasizing his economic record as a key selling point, arguing that Americans are paying less for groceries, energy, and gas under his administration. His comments come amid ongoing debate over whether inflation and the cost of living have truly improved for households. Right, and it hasn't. Okay. And this shit was bad. You know, if you want to be honest, man, we don't vote. We Israelites don't vote. You know, I never voted in my life. Okay. Uh, when Trump had his first term, the cost of living was cheap. I remember gas being like 220. Okay, food being cheaper. Okay, everything being cheaper. But when, you know, Moneybag Joe Biden, okay, was put into office, during the 2020, 2019 C19, okay, they might strike the video for that. Okay, the C19er, right? And this is not medical misinformation or disinformation. Okay, you know when Joe Biden was put in that position, that whole slim caused prices to go up on everything. Okay, and that helped push forth what Esau's agenda of the NWO. Okay, have he did away with the middle class, and the middle class been gone for decades, man. Okay, if you don't have a lot of money, you're poor, man. Okay, that's why it says rich and poor, free and bond. Okay, it's not going to be a middle class when they push out this mark. Okay, so it says the president on Thursday claimed that his government has brought down inflation, which he said was now down to a very low number after having the worst inflation in the history of our country. It says inflation surged to a peak of 9.1% under Biden, but had fallen to 3% by the time Trump took office. It has since hovered near that level, fluctuating between 2 and 3% during his term, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Now, this is bullshit, okay? And we can tell it's bullshit because everything's still the same. Prices are still going up. Prices, if they're not going up, they're still the same from years ago. So it's all smoke and mirrors, man. You people are being deceived by the so-called white man. You're being led into a ditch, okay? If the blind lead the blind, they both shall fall into a ditch. And a lot of you Israelites following after these wicked politicians, okay, these wicked Edomites, okay, and also these wicked Jakes and heathen nations, you're going to follow them into your own destruction, man. Because America is not, it's not the Most High. It's not of the Most High. America is not your support. It's not here to support you, okay? It's not here to benefit you, man. It's to keep you at a lower state, okay? And that's exactly what Trump does not care about. He does not care about people being in a lower state, okay? His job is to crash this economy and bring in a new one, man. Okay? That's his job. Okay? You people have to come to a realization that at some point in time, the Hebrew Israelites are correct. Okay? Specifically, the man and brothers of GMS Great Millstone, man. Okay? Because you don't hear prophecy coming from no other camp. Okay? And the spirit of Yahweh Shah is the spirit of prophecy. It says Trump has reportedly cited the price of a Walmart Thanksgiving dinner, which he said dropped by 25%, as evidence of improved affordability under his administration. However, a fact-checking report from the New Republic has noted that this year's Walmart basket features fewer items than last year, man. hold on, let me grab the preset, man, because we warned you people about this coming to pass. Okay, y'all was just watching the Dabu 7 earlier, and he was saying one. Damn, man, this phone tripping, man. But he was saying one food bank, I forgot what state, was feeding over 180,000 families, man. Not eight families, but people. So that's showing you that this shit is gonna get bad, man. Okay, it's gonna get so bad out here. Okay, and you people just think you're in the good case, as it says in 2 16 and 21. Behold, victuals shall be so good, cheap upon earth, that they shall think themselves to be in good case. And even then shall evils grow upon the earth, right? And evils are growing, man. Bad times are growing. Go on YouTube. Go on this guy named YT Wake 'em Up. He uploads clips of everybody on TikTok complaining about whatever they going through, man. Okay, he does little uh if I might say presentations, and he speaks on them. Okay, and you this how you know Yahweh Shemiel Shah is not with him, because he doesn't have the spirit of prophecy. Okay, he doesn't break this down. He doesn't bring out the scriptures when he's you know showing these clips. Okay, because the Lord is not with this guy, man. All right, but that's besides the point. Okay, it says, behold, victuals shall be so good cheap upon earth, that they shall think themselves to be in good case, and even then shall evils grow upon earth, sword, famine, and great confusion, right? Sword, famine, great confusion. Sword, why? Because there's going to be a lot of invading one another for the lack of bread. When you read that in 2 15 chapter, there's going to be a lot of famine. Why? Because the farmers are the United States government is destroying the crops. Okay, the farmers are going bankrupt. Okay, it says in great confusion, because people are going to wonder why all this is going on, man. All right, and it's happening right under your nose. So I'm gonna close out, because no, I'm not gonna close out. Let's go back to it. All right, let's finish this off. Okay, let's go back to where we was at. And all right, it says Trump also claimed that gasoline now costs close to $2 a gallon, while under Biden it was 4.50 to $5. That's true. But right now, gas is really here in Cleveland, Ohio. It's about almost, if it's not $3, it ranges between 2.89 or 2.79 and 3.39. Okay. So these are astronomical prices, especially when inflation has increased and your wages have stayed the same. Okay, people are digging into their retirement funds. People are, digging into, they're getting loans, okay, pay small payday loans, things like that to stay afloat. This society is collapsing, man. It says gas prices are now average $3 a gallon after peaking at around $5 a gallon in June 2020. According to the Energy Information Administration, prices were about $3 per gallon when Trump took office in January 2025. PolitiFact noted that in September that the Trump administration's record is overall mixed on bringing prices down. While the price of some energy and food items have gone down, other costs have gone up. So it's a lose-lose situation. Okay, he's gonna solve one issue, and it might be the smaller issue, and he's not gonna solve the large issue. Okay, or vice versa. Okay, he's putting you in a predicament to suffer, and that's Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shah. It says in the book of Second Esdras 8, and I believe it's verse 50. It says Second Ezra 8 and 50, for many great miseries shall be done to them that in the latter time shall dwell in the world, because they have walked in great pride. Right. So this is the misery that's taking place here in the United States of America, man. All right, and it's being done by DJ Trump. Okay. It says, speaking to reporters on Thursday, Trump complained that he isn't receiving enough credit for his economic record, saying the press reports whatever the con people say. You know, I call the Democrats con men and women. They make up numbers. The affordability is much better with the Republicans. The only problem is the Republicans don't talk about it, and Republicans should start talking about it and use their heads because we have great numbers, right? So now you're gonna see within this page, you know, it says Democratic Senator Chris Murphy told the New York Times people are dumb. They know the prices aren't going down. That's true, man. These things are going to continually increase gradually, little by little will things increase until the dollar collapses and hyperinflation take place, which that has to happen. Okay, it has to happen. It has happened every empire, man. Look at the Weimar Republic or the Venezuela um files was it filed did they file bankruptcy as a country? I'm not sure, but their currency uh hit an all-time low, which caused people to start burning the money in the streets or using it as pillows or whatever it may be. Okay. Those steps are going to come to the United States of America. Where they're not coming, they're already here. All right. And we're just waiting on the collapse of this dollar so Esau can bring in uh so more chaos can take place and eventually that system can be fully implemented, man. Because that's what he wants. Speaking of Esau eating the so-called white man, starting with the wicked elites, and that's what also we want, because that means salvation is nearer than when we believe. So I'm gonna close out. Lord willing, this is edifying to one of the Lord's elect. I'm going to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rakhat Kwadash, and double honor to my teachers, the head apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule and teach well, and peace and salutations to the elect. Calling Yashar Shalom, Wa Abba, Papa.